Welcome to Savvy Business, Life Unscripted with your host, Christina Rivera, where our guests share their wisdom and valuable business tips, empowering our audience to expand their personal potential.
Heather DeSantis, welcome to Savvy Broadcasting and Life Unscripted. I'm so grateful to have you here tonight for our wonderful series, our new series called Life After COVID. Right now, a lot of people are freaking out. They're like, I'm at home. When am I going to see people again? I can't stand this lockdown stuff. But you have an inspirational story that you actually started before COVID, but it's a wonderful opportunity to see the silver lining on what's possible, even in a time of and turmoil, that you can turn it around and actually make your life better and do something different. So welcome to the show. Share with the audience a little bit about your background before we get started.
Absolutely. So I grew up always wanting to be an entrepreneur. My dad and uncle were really successful in real estate, and they both passed away. So having people you're close with pass away, it really makes you want to become an entrepreneur. So I went on to work at an ad agency, and then from there, started building my own PR agency. But I always dreamed of really building my own life according to my own terms. When I worked at the ad agency, 15 to 20 hour days, really stressful, having to choose between work and family, not really being able to live a blended life. I left, build Publicity for good. And now it's amazing. Literally, we're a team of 15. We get to work with amazing purpose-driven brands, really focused on scaling to 1 million, to 2 million, to 3 million. But, I wanted to do it differently. So when my fiance got out of the military, we wanted to tour the U.S. and we want to have 100 acres so we can have a farm. So we committed to living and working full-time from an Airstream, and we've been doing that. It'll be a year in June.
That is so cool. That is so cool. See, I don't know if you know anything about my background. Me and my husband, he's a pilot, and I love to fly. So we've always said that we'd like to fly the whole 50 states, and we've kind of dreamed that wouldn't it be cool if we could travel and just fly there and then stay and then travel and camp and stuff like that.
Yes, you should.
Yeah, we haven't done that. We have hit a number of states, but it just sounds like such an American dream. What do people, they're like, when I retire, I'm going to Winnebago, but why wait? Like you're showing people, you don't need to wait.
You don't need to wait. Most people we meet on the road are definitely retired. So negative things, if you wait when you're older, you don't necessarily, your knees aren't as good. And then you also have the pressure of, oh my gosh, I don't want to miss the grandkids. So for people who are younger or have young kids, it's an exciting time to be able to work on the road. And I think it's even more exciting because everyone's working at home now. So many companies are putting flexibility in place for people to work from home that I think families really have opportunity to go on the road, and parents have the flexibility to travel and homeschool their kids, that there's just more opportunity for families to opt out of the traditional society, still build a very successful business, but do it according to their own terms.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned that, Heather, because right now you just hit on one of the perfect silver linings, which is for both business owners and if you're an employee, that you don't have to be stuck in one place. I work with a wonderful client right now who I was working with in New York, and me and my husband started to think, hey, we might want a life somewhere else. And we were thinking about this before COVID, but then afterward, I said to my client, hey, what do you think about this? They're like, sure, we don't care where you work as long as the work gets done. Yeah. And the same can go with, if you're an employee or you own a business, if you can keep it going. And with electronics and wonderful Zoom that we're on right now, it offers these wonderful opportunities to reimagine your life and how it could be.
It's exciting. I mean, this is a scary time as a business owner. Gosh, I've had to pivot. I had to rebuild the business. There were times of stress, but where I see we are now, we're such a stronger company. Our revenue is higher. We've had to really pivot to think things differently, but I feel like there's been such an opportunity of growth to have to do things that you put off, because it wasn't the right time.
Yeah. And let's talk about that pivoting and growth, because I've heard that not just from you, but from a number of business owners, just the one that came on last week and the week before, telling me their businesses are actually expanding in this time. It's not like they were going to say, whoa, COVID's here, let me go take advantage of it. It just happened that way. So share with us, how does that pivoting and that growth help or happen in your company? How did that come about?
So I think like any sense of complacency before like was gone. Like you had to work harder and be more intentional because you have families that you're responsible for with your company. So I think that's the first thing. I think the second thing is looking at adapting, creating smaller offers, even looking at your product suite. We created lower ticket items to serve more people instead of high ticket programs as well. So all of those things that you tend to put off because it's not the right time really had to happen. And you had to really analyze what was working and what wasn't working, and where are you spending money that's not necessarily decreasing your stress or helping with the ROI of your company.
Yeah, that's important, Heather, because I think a lot of people say, well, I was a public speaker before. Now what? I'm like, well, you can still speak. We have the wonderful online platforms like the one we're talking on right now that allows you to reach people, as well as free platforms like YouTube that can allow you to build an audience, connect with them, and still do what you do if speaking is your thing. And there are a variety of ways. I mean, I've heard about so many business owners pivoting and thinking, well, there's no way I could do what I did before. Now, one was an upholstery company that decided, hey, we did upholstery. People are not concerned with their furniture right now. Let's turn that into making masks.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Talk about pivoting.
No, I think that's cool. And there's also like, I see a lot of businesses really stepping into thought leadership and positioning them as the expert and using that to grow their business. Yeah. And businesses really having to step up to use social media to grow their business.
So tell me that, let's talk about that. Were businesses kind of letting that fall by the wayside before, not really taking advantage of the full use of social media before?
I don't think so. I think they weren't concentrated on, like, they weren't strategic with trying to get new leads for their business. Mm-hmm. When things changed, it kind of, for a lot of businesses, it was fight or famine. So like, you had to be intentional with what you were doing. So from my end, it's been a lot of social media, but then also it's been a lot of traditional outreach as well. So, focus on traditional connections with potential leads, but then also really focusing on using attraction marketing and social media to speak to the needs of your client too.
Ooh, good one. Talking to the needs of your clients. Like that guy with the upholstery company. What do my clients need right now? They're focused on protecting themselves. Maybe masks are the way to go. And so what that shows me right there is that refocusing on what are your clients' needs right now.
So you have to pivot. And it's like, for me, I run a publicity agency. We do PR, but it's not necessarily about the PR. It's that we increase visibility. We increase web traffic. We increase credibility. We help clients stand out amongst their competitors and get more press. So like, we're really focused on the transformation and the pain point of the client instead of focusing on I'm an author or what you physically sell.
Yeah. And I think that's probably a mistake people make, whether we're in the time of COVID or not, which is me, look at what I got to give you. Instead of like, how can I help you today? Like when you call customer service, it's like, how can I help you? It's like coming back to that service attitude more than here's all my features I have to give you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, now, Heather, what I'm finding excited about your story as well is you said that after you went on the road and started living in the Airstream, that you really got rid of a lot of stuff and you realized you didn't need as much as you had before, that life got a lot simpler. Share that with our audience.
Yeah. So when we decided to do the whole Airstream thing, we literally had to move our stuff to a storage unit. So I literally I have a small closet, and literally my main focus at all times is ensuring that I have good internet. So we literally put a standing desk in the Airstream. It's a very minimal life. Like, we have a fridge, but we don't have much space for a lot of food. So it's definitely focused on reuse, recycle, sustainability. And instead of just thinking of the day, like planning out the week ahead. and how everything is going to impact one another. But then also like really optimization. So you know what I mean? Like optimization of everything, optimization of space, optimization of having less clothes so you don't have to think about the next thing, like the night before, having your coffee pot ready so you don't have to make the coffee, just like having everything planned out and intentional. So literally when you get up, it's like, I'm ready to work. I'm ready to have my morning routine. And there's less time spent in the preparation of taking 30 minutes to prepare a sandwich, 15 minutes to prepare coffee. Like everything's ready. So you have less resistance of the coffee pot's not working, which can dampen your mood or, mojo or any of those things.
Yeah. And what I'm finding talking to people right now, and you mentioned something very important before, which is making that personal connection. I think I talked to a lot of people and they said, well, I can't get out of the house. I can't see anyone. Well, we have the phone, we have the internet. Thank God in this modern time, if this had happened 50 years ago, we would have just been that trapped in our house. We had to go, knock on the neighbor's door and then run back and go, hi, how are you?
Absolutely.
But now we have that connectability that we can really connect really personally with people thanks to this modern world. So that really leads a great opportunity to everyone out there. And you mentioned something else is optimization that a lot of people are telling me now, because stores are running out of stuff or might not, you have to think ahead, which is a good thing. It actually, I think, and I've heard from people, is making them more effective in their business and in their life.
No, absolutely. It's exciting. Like there have been a lot of changes, but there's such an opportunity for everyone. You know what I mean? Like the next time you get to go on a date with your husband, like, it's like you're back to when you first started dating, because like you haven't been able to go on a date for so long. So everything I think has its sense of like authentic meaning again, because there's been so much taken away from so many people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got that totally right. Now, what do you say to people out there who said, I don't know where to get started with this? Say I was an employee, lost my job. I don't even know how to get back out there. But, what would you tell them?
There are so many free resources. There are dozens of free Facebook groups where you can connect with other entrepreneurs. Like literally there's freelance websites that you can put a profile up for free and literally get paid for your time. I just think the most important thing is to find a mentor, and find a mentor that aligns with your personal beliefs and who they are as a person outside of business. I think that's the most important thing to realize, but there's such an opportunity now to make money from home, doing what you did before, whether it's being a VA or managing email. And there's so much free stuff out there that literally it's making $1,000 to $2,000 a month, like just being you, is so obtainable and easy if you're just willing to show up and do the work.
Yeah. Ooh, good one. Very, very important. And I think it starts, you mentioned having a mentor. I think it starts with having that person, not only to hold you accountable, but to keep you in that mind frame of not going down into the pit. Because you could be like, it's over, I don't have a job, and how am I going to pay my bills? Or you can be like, okay, this happened, now what? Let's pivot, let's keep going, let's figure this out. Because just this week I looked on a job site and there were so many jobs now being posted for remote work. Because they're like, why pay real estate when I could just have my employees like remotely? So there are a lot of companies looking to hire remotely. So you could be anywhere all over the country and work for someone in Alaska or something. Who knows?
And it's exciting. Like I wonder now, like, will more moms before who didn't work with the opportunity to work from home, where more women want to get jobs, so they work, it's exciting. It's an exciting time.
Yeah. And now here's another thing we didn't hit on, but really building that connection, like you were talking about, that beginning connection, like you're able to do with your husband. Well, how about with your kids? You've been at home, you rush home, throw the kid, the food in front of the kids, eat, let's do homework, go to bed, start all over again. But now, because the kids are there, you're homeschooling, you're helping the kids, you're actually being with them and getting to build that connection with your kids.
It's exciting. I mean, it sucks, but what's on the other side? Like, people are having to change. We're all having to change. I think everyone has a higher appreciation for people. And, and think about like the positive impacts that it's having on like the ocean and the world and the ozone layer, so it's just the season we're in, it sucks. But I think there's such an opportunity for everyone.
Well, it's like when it's winter, you're like, winter. I don't like winter. I don't like being cold. Well, there's some good things about winter. I mean, I like the vibrancy of the air. It kind of wakes me up in the morning. Like summer, I'm like, I just want to go back to bed and enjoy the sun. But when it's kind of vibrant and cool out there, kind of get your pants going. But, winter can be a good season, and this can be the season where you reinvent yourself. As we were saying, the silver lining and a new opportunity. You're showing people with your inspirational story how that's possible, to not wait till you're 72 to go live that life you might have, whatever those dreams might be. It can be today, not at 72.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's ask anyone here if they have any questions. I see 2 people on the line. 4024, do you have any questions?
Well, I was just going to ask the question about the Airstream. How is it pulling that thing around from the thumbnail that I saw? I think that's a Dodge. How's the driving with that?
Oh my gosh. So I don't pull the Airstream, but my fiance Austin says it's easy. He doesn't really feel it at all. So we were going to get a 1500 or a 2500, and we went with a 2500 because it pulls it seamlessly.
Wow.
And it looks like a pretty long one too. What's the capacity on that one?
It's a 23-foot Airstream.
23-footer. Wow.
Looks great though. So the thing with that is, when you get a smaller Airstream, like it has a bed, it has a little dinette, it has a kitchen, a shower, but you're able to get into state park. So that's the benefit of having a smaller Airstream, is you can go to state parks. You can stay at Cracker Barrel. You can actually stay at Cracker Barrel overnight for free. You go in at 6 in the morning and have breakfast. That's so much fun.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah, when you get over to can you plug in? How does that work? Like with water and electricity, do you get to plug in, or are you
We have
independent?
We have full hookups and everything. We're looking in the future to get solar.
Oh wow. Thank you. And it's very, very interesting and very exciting. Thanks so much.
Yeah, hopefully, caller, that you will take the opportunity, whatever you have out there that you want to invent and create, get your own Airstream today and create your own dreams.
I sure will.
Awesome. Let me put that on mute. All right. I think that one's not coming off of mute. Okay. The other callers doesn't want to come off mute. But I don't want us to leave without you letting everyone know, because this is going to go to our podcast and everyone out there. Let them know how they get in contact with you, find out more about you, because you are out there, you're working. It's not like you stopped. How can they get in contact with you?
So you can find me on social media at Heather. It's just HeaTher. And then DeSantis, DeSantis, or publicityforgood.com. And literally we share everything from living the Airstream, being in the Airstream, building a 7-figure business. How the heck do you manage a team of 15 from an Airstream? Experiencing a tornado at an RV park in our Airstream. Lots of real raw things that have just been a part of our story.
It's good. And hopefully it'll get people out there to create their own stories. How did you come up with the name Publicity for Good? Why did you choose that name?
So we started out as Heather DeSantis Public Relations, but I wanted it to be a movement. I didn't want it to be just about me. So I chose to go with Publicity for Good, good stories, good news. And that's really the why behind it. And since COVID, we actually started a positive news site called Good Side News. So every day we're highlighting positive people in the world at goodsidenews.com. So if anyone is doing something positive to make a difference,
I love it. We need more positive news. Yay. We need to get you on mainstream media. Thank you, Heather. Heather DeSantis, thank you so much for coming to Savvy Broadcasting today and sharing your great wisdom. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye. If you like this episode, please share. To hear more Savvy episodes and Savvy Biz tips, go to lifeunscriptedradio.com. To become a guest or participate in paid sponsorship, email us at Christina@lifeunscriptedradio.com.